Welcome to the Clopen Effect, a retail podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us today. I'm your host, Meredith.
And I'm your host, Cass.
Let's have some fun.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yay. Welcome
Clink,
back,
clink,
Drew.
clink.
Thank you.
Yay.
How's it going?
Better with wine. That's how it
Can
always
you
goes,
hear
right?
yourself and can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I know I haven't worked with you two in that long, but I can still listen to you. It's okay.
Okay, all right.
I
Does
think
he really listen or do we just listen?
That's why I can listen to you now, because I don't have to work for you anymore, so
Yeah.
I can actually listen.
Not work for, work with.
Sure,
Right?
let's go with that one.
Are you still at the same place that you left us for?
Yes,
Nice.
it's amazing. I love it. I love it. Love it.
Good.
Love
Are
it.
you still full-time?
Yes, for now.
Even,
Um,
when does that maybe change? Or
Probably not till the spring, I'm hoping.
Okay.
So I have an amazing boss who is willing to just absolutely work with my school schedule so I can kind of keep everything for as long as possible. Because she was like, oh, you're still going to do full-time? I'm like, I need the health insurance. So absolutely, as long as I can, I'm staying full-time. So it's I'll probably have more miles on my car with how August is going to be driving to school and then to work and home than when I worked with where you two work now.
Yeah.
I'm just going to have so many miles on my car.
Well, good thing you got a different car now.
Yes. There's something my old car's just engine malfunction warning. And I'm like, maybe I should get a different one.
Yeah.
I still have the old one to use to tow with. Because, yes, that tiny little car is what I tow trailers with. But it's great.
Have you done much kayaking?
No.
It's too hot.
It's that, but it's also most of my time is spent under the water instead of on the water when I'm by it. So,
And how's that going?
great. I've only had one dive trip so far this year, but it's where
I thought
this
you were going to
came
say something
from.
about an accident. I only had one dive accident.
No, so it's still the kind of start of the season where I normally dive at. Just opened up Memorial Day weekend.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
So I haven't gotten underwater there quite yet.
And how far do you go?
So my normal dive grounds is about 35, 37 feet, depending on how much rain we have. Because if you think about it, right, if we haven't gotten a lot of rain, then the water level's lower, so your max depth is less.
Sure,
Which makes sense. But I've got a new bowling ball to bring down there too, because we can't find the old one. Because we play catch with a bowling ball. You'll just throw a bowling ball at someone's head, and it's considered acceptable when you're underwater.
What?
Yeah.
What if you forget when you're above water? Then are you in trouble?
You can tell the weight difference.
Okay.
Because bowling balls don't sink as much as you think they do. Like some bowling balls actually float.
Oh, really?
So we had one where we actually drilled a hole through it and had it bolted and then chained to the bottom of the lake because it just kept floating like a buoy. It was super cool. I think it's anything less than 13 pounds will float.
Okay.
I was going to
so-
say 8, but 13, huh?
Yeah, but I think 13 pounds is the threshold there. And so I have a 16-pound bowling ball down there that we just play catch with.
Oh, and where is that? Like Michigan? Or?
No, here in Crystal Lake.
Oh, okay.
In Three Oaks Recreation Area. We like to call it Tora.
Okay.
They have a special little dive zone cordoned off, so it's safe for us.
Do
so
everything.
fishermen aren't allowed to fish in there and catch us.
Oh,
because that would be less great for them and us.
Yeah, no,
Wetsuits are expensive. We don't want hooks in there.
You're
Oh
like,
my
when am I
gosh.
hooked on?
I had to think about
it's
that
a
for
Drew.
a second. I'm like, why would anyone be
We
fishing
do
for
clean
people?
up there though, because if you cut a fishing line because it got snagged on something, it eventually ends up by us, and we'll just pick it. So I have a collection of fishing lures that I've been collecting in all my dives.
Yeah.
And I just have an old tackle box that I'm collecting and all in. I'm like, I don't fish, but I think it's fun.
Yeah. Have you found any bodies yet?
No.
Like diving with purpose?
Thank
Isn't that like...
goodness.
Dead fish, but that's it.
Oh, okay.
There is a skeleton, but we put it there, so I don't really think it counts as finding it.
How
That'll
great is
really
that,
creep
though?
We
somebody
we
out.
sunk a boat, and so we have a skeleton that's in the boat, and it's got like a pirate hat on, and
Do you ever forget that it's down there and you start going down? You're like, whoa.
No.
No.
I
would.
You very specifically have to go find it.
Oh,
okay.
Because the visibility is absolutely terrible. Like I could
Yeah.
probably see Cass, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So we're talking, what, 3-4 feet?
Yeah,
Maybe?
it's-
Yeah.
It's not. So I always wear like a bright yellow shirt. on
Okay.
diving, so that would be
That's a
easier
good
to find.
idea.
Why is the water so dirty?
Just
Because it's
This-
mud.
because it's an old quarry. If you get out like by Rockford, there's a natural spring-fed lake, and it's much clearer.
Yeah. Sure.
We went to dive, and like, oh my God, my dive master was like, what? I'm like, I can see my feet.
I can see stuff.
He's like, you're kidding. I'm like, I've never been able to see my feet diving before. This is insane. But hopefully, I'm looking forward to the Philippines. I'll be diving that in early August of this year.
That's so cool.
So what did you bring first of all?
Because
where did you bring it from?
Yeah.
So I brought with a bottle of Gewürztraminer, which is a white wine.
Gewürztraminer.
It's a Weisswein, if you want to be technical. It literally just means white wine. So it's a sweet white wine from Germany. It technically exists here in the States, but it's not easy to find. But I love it because I like sweet wines, and I don't want to be like someone who runs a wine shop and shows up without wine. So got to bring that with.
Yeah. Yes.
I can't freaking get my glasses
gosh.
on my
Can you get
head.
your glasses on?
So the first thing I want to talk about is, holy crap, is wine cheap in Germany?
Really?
Oh.
So I get that this isn't a corked bottle, so that kind of tells you the tier. It's probably like the higher tier of cap, what would probably be about low tier of corkage.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, did you find this here or is this from Germany?
That is from Germany.
It's from Germany because it's 2022.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So that was literally, it's a store called Kaufland, which literally just means like buy place.
Buy us?
B-U-Y. I'd kind of consider it like a German version of a Kmart.
Yeah. Okay.
But and they have an alcohol section.
I'm sorry, you're bringing us wine from a Kmart?
It's about a Kmart equivalent, right? It's called Kaufland. It's just one of their big chain stores there. But this is it's still considered a decent brand of wine.
It's 12.5%.
Yeah. Sounds decent
converted
to me.
to US dollars. Cass, would you like to guess how much that wine would cost in
I'll
US
say
dollars?
$12.
I'm gonna say $4.99.
Just under $6.
Ah!
That is €5.5. So switch to USD, it's probably going to be somewhere between $5.75 and $6.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's delicious.
And like I said, that's not even the cheap wine. That's a mid-tier wine for less than $6 US.
How does it convert over when you bring your money?
So it's about 1-to-1. You'll still have to go through currency exchanges.
So it really is just cheaper wine.
Yeah.
It's just you're saving money. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it also didn't hurt that the area of Germany I was in is by Weingarten, which literally is wine land, like wine garden. So it's all these vineyards. I saw 4 crops the whole time I was there. I saw grapes, hops, apples, and strawberries. I'm like, 3 of those you turn into alcohol, right?
Yeah.
So that's the area I was in.
Wait, I feel like you could turn all of them into alcohol.
You can. Yeah. Like strawberry, but strawberry isn't a common alcohol, but apple cider being ciderized is.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're really known for their apples, and I really wish I could have brought some of those strawberries back, but you can't bring fresh produce back.
Yeah.
So I did alcohol instead.
What are we, Australia?
Smuggle it.
So I wanted to bring a second bottle, but I didn't want to deal with customs. I got flagged enough as it was. I got stuck by security twice on the way back.
For the wine?
No.
Oh.
So we dove when
for
we
the
were...
pot. Oh, sorry.
No. So we went diving while we were in Germany.
Yeah.
Well, technically, we went to Austria to go diving. Because if you think about Europe, right? From where I was at in Germany to go to Austria is like us going to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was, I think, an hour and a half drive. And
Oh,
we were
wow.
in Austria.
My goodness.
And then while we were diving, we just accidentally ended up in Switzerland. Because that's how the borders work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got into the river in Austria, and we swam across the river and found out that the other side of the river was Switzerland.
Oh, wow.
You had to
We
go.
didn't even know.
Yeah.
So, but I hadn't actually been to Switzerland yet because I was still floating. I never touched ground, and I'm like, ugh. But anyways, so Weingarten, all this stuff. See, I am already ADHD, and I forgot where that sentence was going.
Happens all the time on the show. All the time.
We were talking about why you got stopped by customs.
Right? Yes. So,
At least somebody's paying attention.
now,
I was still thinking strawberries. I don't know.
So for us divers, we don't trust baggage handlers to handle our regulators.
Right.
Those are very expensive pieces of equipment, very well maintained, and what I need to breathe out of.
Yeah.
I don't trust it to be out of my sight for a second.
Absolutely,
It's
yeah.
staying in my possession. So it's in my carry-on. So we go through the X-ray system, which first of all, as an American, you fly to Florida a lot, right?
Yeah.
You go through security. What do you do?
Yeah. You put your bag up, take your shoes off, take your laptop out,
Right,
take your
right.
jacket off.
You don't have to take your shoes off in Europe.
Oh, well, that's nice.
And I'm like, what? Like nobody's
There's
taking their shoes
actually a lot of places in the U.S. you don't have to take your shoes off.
But it was weird to me, right, to not take their shoes off. But I get through, and so I go through the full body scan, right, and then my bag is just sitting there on the conveyor belt, and it stopped moving, and I'm like, crap. And then it moves sideways instead. I'm like, all right, let me go get my bag. And I come up, and he's like, is this yours? I'm like, yeah. He's like, can you open it? I'm like, sure, right. And he sees the pouch that has my regulator in it, and he's swabbing it to test for explosives or something. I'm like, it's just something to breathe out of, dude. It's okay. But like, you think about it from an X-ray perspective, right? They're just seeing a bunch of tubing and metal chunks, so they're like,
yeah.
So then we get through the rest of security. We get down to the hangar. Now, when you fly Lufthansa, you have like a second set of security you have to go through at the gate for international. So they scan my ticket, and the woman's just like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, what? Like, it's a valid ticket, right? Like, I need to go home today. She's like, you've been randomly selected for additional screening. I need you to go that way through that room. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
They were watching you the whole time. It wasn't
so
random.
But it was like it's my first international trip. So I'm like, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what to expect from customs. Like, I don't. But oh my God, going to Germany. So first of all, we don't get off at the hangar, right? Like at the jetway.
Right.
It was literally, they pulled the stairs up to the side of the plane and you walked down.
Yes.
You got on a bus that took you to the terminal.
Yeah.
You then lapped the entire terminal to get across the street from where the bus dropped you off. That was customs. You just had to walk all the way around.
Oh my God. Why do you have to walk all the way around?
Time delay. Like it was an intentional delay. So like one of the things they did was there's an airline where at a specific airport, people kept complaining that it took too long to get their baggage from the plane. So all they did was route people to have to walk halfway across the airport before they could get to baggage claim, and then everybody stopped complaining.
Oh my God, yeah. Because
the time didn't change.
Yeah.
They just made them walk farther, and they'd stop complaining.
What the hell?
Psychologists have fun in airports.
Yeah.
So like if you look, like one of my favorite things is in airports, you'll very rarely see just a very wide open hallway, because people will then start walking shoulder to shoulder, and there'll be like 7 people wide, and it's just a moving blockage, right?
Yeah.
That's so annoying, by the way.
Specifically put those kiosks in the middle to break you up into smaller chunks so people can pass you easier.
Yeah.
That's just a
It
thing
makes
that they do,
sense.
right?
Yeah.
So we get there to customs. The guy's like, oh, where are you staying? I was like, oh, I'm staying in the Weingarten area. And he's like, okay. Stamps my passport. Here, go have a nice trip. Welcome to Germany. I'm like, that was it?
Yeah.
And then I pick up my luggage, and there's just a sign above the door, nothing to declare, enter here. And you just walk out that door.
Yeah.
Like, that was way easier than I thought it was going to be.
So it's a lot harder coming back in.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So I got stuck by security twice. Once we landed, I had to go through American customs, pick up my checked bag, and then go through a second set of customs, and then could leave the airport.
Oh my
god. And that was after getting pre-screened by TSA in Germany before boarding the plane.
Oh my god.
That was that Lufthansa checkpoint there. I'm like, good Lord.
Wow.
Man, so leaving the country is easy. Coming back is a problem. That's what I learned.
A lot of people have said that.
Yeah, but is what it is.
Yeah, talking about going to all those different places within the country, like I see TikToks all the time where people in Europe don't understand how big the U.S. is.
Yeah.
Like they think they can see the Statue of Liberty, Disneyland, and Disney World all in one day, and it's like, no, that you'll have to drive 82 hours. Yeah.
I've come to the conclusion that Europeans do not comprehend how massive America is. Americans can't comprehend how old Europe is.
Yeah.
Because like where I was staying, there's a tower there that we climbed. It has 253 steps to the top. Ask me how I know.
Jeez.
Day 1, that's what we climbed.
Oh my gosh.
I had breakfast and then we climbed a tower. My breakfast, by the way, was a pretzel, sausage, and a glass of beer. I'm like, that is a German breakfast right there.
I like that.
So the tower was built in like the year 1100.
Stop.
They were talking about like, the final wall, like they had an outer and an inner city wall. And like, they're like, the final bit of the wall of the city came down in like 1800. I'm like, my state didn't exist yet.
Yeah.
And that's how old this city is.
Yeah.
Like they took the walls down before where I live was founded.
Yeah.
And it's just so unbelievably old. And I love churches. So going and seeing all those ancient churches was just
amazing.
Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Did you have a favorite church?
Yes, but I don't actually know the name of it. I think it's the St. Peter's Cathedral in München. We would call it Munich, but it's München. So it's M-U with the umlaut, C-H-E-N. München. There's an should be an N in there. So M with the umlaut. That was the 2 dots.
The umlaut.
The umlaut.
Okay. I never knew what that was called.
Yeah, it's an umlaut. Just like the little squiggle over an N in piñata, that's a tilde.
Yeah. It's a what?
Tilde.
Tilde.
So some people call it tilde, some people call it tilde.
Okay.
But yeah. I keep like scrouching down. I'm gonna have to fix this mic at some point. I'm just gonna keep going like this. It's fine.
Drew said we had too many short people. Meredith said she already raised it once.
I feel like it didn't work. I'm just like scrouching down in this chair.
So let's
but I
talk
got
the
used to
most
ducking.
important question about your diving. Are there sharks?
No, there are no sharks in the Rhine River.
Okay, good.
You can, however, go surfing in Munich. I found that out. So
On a river?
yes.
Oh. You just follow behind the boats?
No. So there's no boats in this section of the river. Hold on. Let
Okay.
me. Sorry for those of you reading this on a podcast. Maybe I'll send these to Meredith so she can post them on Facebook. Oh, I forgot about that picture. I'll show you that one off.
Show us.
Don't show us any weird ones, Drew.
This was some graffiti in the town where I was staying.
Oh, for the record.
That's a
Okay.
penis.
Yep. Just casually written there.
Random penis. on the wall.
Schnitzel.
Wait, I want to see schnitzels.
Didn't we just see
So-
a schnitzel?
Wait, not if it's like.
My last day there, they made homemade schnitzel with homemade spätzle, and
Oh
then
my
that sauce
gosh.
is almost like a stroganoff sauce, but without the
Yeah.
beef. So it's got the cream and that mushroom base,
That
for
looks
that good
so
savory
good.
texture.
That looks
Delish.
so good.
So that was my last full meal in Germany. I gotta
How
scroll
long
back.
did you go? A couple weeks?
8 or 9 days.
Oh, wow. I felt like you were gone forever.
I know, right? It felt like that. You were just enjoying the peace and quiet, is what it was.
How long did it take to get there?
There was about an 8.5-hour flight, about 9.5 hours to come back.
Oh,
That's
okay.
not bad. I
Yeah.
thought it was going to be like 12 or 14.
No, that'll be the Philippines. It will take that long.
Okay.
Are
So
you
this
taking
is-
an overnight flight?
Yes. So this is called spaghetti ice.
Oh.
Oh, is it ice cream?
That is ice cream.
So it looks, I mean, it
I was
looks like
wondering why
spaghetti
it had
with
a
sauce
card-
on top and
Yeah.
Parmesan
Cardboard.
cheese.
So
heart
they
in
take
it.
vanilla
Is it
ice
a cookie?
cream and they put it through an extruder so it looks like those noodles.
Yeah.
They cover it with a strawberry sauce and then shaved white chocolate to look like the
Oh,
Parmesan.
that's so good.
And is that a cookie or is that?
And then that's just like a wafer cookie that they
Yeah.
stick in it. It's delicious. The one I had the last time was I had one with Nutella as my last day there. It was phenomenal.
Wait, the same ice cream, spaghetti ice cream, but with Nutella
but with
instead
Nutella
of-
on it, yeah.
I want Nutella.
They have
and
one that they call it the
strawberries.
pesto one, and it's got like pistachio and pistachio sauce on it.
I want all of
I had
it
a
on it.
carbonara one, which had I did not know this at the time. It had eggnog in it. Cause like, oh, there's like this weird taste to it.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, did you not like eggnog?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Then why did you order?" I'm like, "I can't read the menu. It's in German." Like, come on here. What is
I want
wrong
one
with
of
you
each.
people?
I like eggnog. I would have eaten that one.
Could you do like a banana split with all of them?
They do
Ooh.
have one that's got like chocolate and banana on it.
sounds
There was
good,
literally
too.
a page and a half of this
Oh
store's
my
menu. It was just
gosh.
That
this.
you couldn't read?
Yeah. I could read a little bit of it, but not a lot. I forgot why I was pulling my phone out to look at pictures.
The river that you can
Right, yes, thank you.
surf on. I'm just holding this whole episode
You
together,
absolutely
aren't I?
are. I was still thinking strawberry.
So this is on the south.
I'm sorry. Okay.
So this is on. I gotta mute my.
Kaz, I just show up and she's running this episode.
So this is. Do I have the rotation on? Yes.
We've had another long week.
So-
It's been really long.
So they have the river goes through the city, and then they built the.
What city?
This is in Munich.
Thank you.
So it follow along. This is in Munich, Germany. Okay.
Okay.
In the English Gardens, south of the Chinese Tower.
Oh my
All right.
gosh.
Okay.
So it's on the southern border of the park is where this river flows.
The four
And they
corners of
built
the world.
concrete in the
neat.
riverbed. So as the river flows,
Oh,
it goes
that's
up and
cool.
creates a perpetual tidal wave. And it's all fed by the flow of the
I
river.
would
There's no
die
pumps involved.
trying to surf
Yeah.
And
I
this
would
was
fall
taken-
and
that. It looks
hit my
very
head.
aggressive in his picture.
It is. It is very aggressive. And they say this is not for beginner surfers, intermediate or
no.
experienced only.
Yeah.
Because this is all concrete underneath the water and around you.
Yeah,
That
you
is
fall and
solid
you're
concrete.
busted. Yeah.
The good news is wetsuits float, so you can't sink in a wetsuit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can still bust your head open on one
Absolutely.
of the concrete pillars.
But I like to point out, this was a Wednesday at like 2 p.m, and there was a dozen people lined up to
oh,
go
that's
surfing.
cool. Yeah.
And it got busier at like once like the end of the workday, and they just showed up in wetsuits and a
We
surfboard.
gotta talk to our boss about noon, being
Yeah.
like done at noon, going to
Yeah.
the beach at noon.
I mean, I could be done at noon if I just get up a little earlier.
And then if you want to keep learning your German for today, this is what's known as a Nussschnecke. It means
Okay.
nut snail.
Schnecke.
Nut-
Oh,
nut
it does
snail.
look
So
like a nut
it gets its
snail.
name from that kind of swirl
It's like a
Cinnabon looking
kind of a
thing.
cinnamon
Yeah.
roll. Yeah.
So this one
Caramely
is a
cinnamon roll.
walnut with like a glaze on it.
Yeah,
They
that
also have a
looks good.
Käseschnecke, which is a cheese snail, and it's more of a savory one, but they're
Okay.
delicious.
Ooh, I
so
want
how
both
much
of
weight
them.
did you gain?
Too much.
I want both of them.
I want
but
all of it.
as promised to Meredith, Kaufland, the place that I got the Gewürztraminer from, like most grocery stores here in the States do, they have an international aisle.
Ooh, and you saw the U.S. food?
And we're just walking along, and our host was like, oh my God, I got to show you this. I got to show you this. And we're like, what? He's like, I got to show you the American section
of
the international aisle. And we're like, bet, let's
Did you
do
take
this.
pictures? I need to see pictures.
So I have a
It's
picture
so
of
funny.
the international aisle. And again, I can send this to you, Meredith, if you want to post it later.
Yes,
Great.
please.
So I'd like to point out that it's a 4-foot section.
Yeah.
The entire bottom row is tortillas, not tortilla chips, just tortillas. This is specifically
White
the
people
USA
taco
section.
night.
The next shelf up is a box of marshmallows,
Oh, yes. Very American.
root beer, and grape soda.
Okay.
Because what I didn't
Okay.
realize is they don't have root beer in Europe. It's not a common thing.
No.
We were talking to our host, and he's like, "What's root beer?"
Sassafras.
I also got into an argument because in my Midwestern accent, I call it root beer.
Yeah.
I don't call
beer.
it root beer. I just call it
Oh.
root beer.
Root beer.
Right?
Root beer,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
And the person I was traveling with was like, no, it's root beer. I'm like, I know what it's supposed to be, but it's root beer.
This is my Midwestern accent. Thank you.
So they had the 2 different types of root beers, and he got a can of both, which was great because you know how I did not comprehend this until we were trying it, right? We get back to the apartment, and he opens the one, and I got one too. And his was like that cola style root beer, you know?
Yeah.
And the other can was like the cream style root beer.
Oh.
So he
Okay.
got to try both, and I'm like, both of these are perfectly valid root beers.
Neither
They're just
one was
different style.
sarsaparilla?
Right. The more cola one I
'Cause
think is a
that's
more
real.
sarsaparilla
That's
one.
real
You didn't
root
do
beer.
root beer floats?
We did not, but that's what we were talking
Oh.
about. So what got us started in this conversation is in German, you have no different word to tell the difference between ice, like cubes of frozen water, and ice cream.
Okay.
It's
Oh.
EIS. You'd pronounce it ice.
Yeah.
It's the same word for both.
Yeah.
And he was saying he was throwing a party one year, and he had asked his friend to bring ice.
Oh.
And he meant the cubes of frozen
Cubes.
water for
Yeah.
the drinks.
Yeah.
And his friend, having heard it was a party, brought ice cream.
Oh, wow.
And we're like, but that's okay. You can put pop over it. And he's like, what? I'm like, have you never had a root beer float? And he's like, what's root beer? And so this started that whole conversation.
Yeah, because you can do any pop really.
Yeah,
over
we're like,
ice
you know, like a
cream.
Fanta, which again, in Germany, Fanta is yellow. It's like a Mountain Dew color yellow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, why is it not orange?
Yeah.
Blew my mind. So the next shelf up right above the pop is 3 different types of Reese's, followed by 2 different types of Hershey's.
So
Now-
they think that the U.S. is just a bunch of fat asses that like to
Yes.
snack? Is that what I'm
Yes.
hearing?
So here's my first
Chips,
problem.
chocolate.
Here's my next problem in the
Soda.
American section. Cass and Meredith, you can recognize the one on top, right? Hershey's
Yeah.
Cookies and Cream.
Cookies and
Is the one on
cream.
the bottom caramel?
That one underneath is cookies and cream, but instead of white chocolate, it's milk chocolate,
No.
Stop.
which
Because
doesn't
I-
exist in the States.
I hate white chocolate. I would love cookies and cream and regular chocolate.
So
You
I-
hate white chocolate?
I don't like white
So I
chocolate.
bought
know
that
that.
while I was there because I'm like, I see that and I look to our German host. I'm like, I want you to know this is not a thing in America.
Yeah.
I wish it was.
Oh
And
my gosh,
everyone
and
I've
they're
shown
only
this to,
99 cents.
Yeah. Which would
Frick.
be,
Candy bar is $1.63 or something here.
how much would it be?
it's about so it's like €1 is like 1.0, like $1.06 American.
Okay.
Yeah.
But again, I want to highlight Europe does things a little bit better than the United States. The price on the tag is the price you pay. Taxes included in the price on your
my
tag
God.
in the
I know.
store. So that actually
Why don't
costs
we
you,
live
if
in
you pay
Europe?
with a €1 coin, because they don't have €1 bills, if you pay with a €1 coin, you will get a 1 cent coin back.
Yeah.
Taxes included in
Wow.
the price. And we were talking to our German host. He's like, so how do you know how much it is when you get to the register? I'm like, you don't.
You just guess.
The cashier tells you.
You just
He's like,
add 30 cents to everything.
because he's like, oh, so you just like do some multiplication. I'm like, well, if you know what the tax rate is. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, oh, it changes depending on what you're buying, what city you're buying it in, what county you're buying it
Yeah.
in, what state you're
state
buying
you're
it
buying
in.
it in,
He's like, you
yep.
kidding, right? I'm like, no.
No.
So then right above
We're
the
pretty gross.
chocolate,
Yeah, we are.
we've got
Fuck
2
the
different
US.
kinds. I did not want to get on the plane to come back. I'm not going to lie. So we've got cheese popcorn and regular popcorn for like microwave popcorn. Oh, there's a third one too.
I
missed.
love that
don't-
it's like just all
Oh, butter.
snacks.
Right.
Snacks.
So then we get to these bottles, this is
Like a squeeze jar
just a
of
squeezy
cheese?
bottle of cheese next to the squeezy bottle of nacho cheese next to a bottle of French's mustard. Now,
so
this is
somebody could
Germany.
get really confused.
They have real mustard here.
Yeah.
Now, this is a
So is it because of all the
218
pretzels
milliliter.
that they have there? Don't they do a lot of
Yeah,
pretzels?
They do a lot of
make
pretzels.
So it
their
would be
own-
cheese, and mustard?
Well,
But here's the thing: they
okay.
don't put cheese and mustard on their pretzels. They
Fair
put just
enough.
butter. So they'll
Oh,
actually
wow.
like cut their pretzel in half and they'll put butter on their pretzel and eat it that way.
Okay. I
I almost brought pretzels
that.
with, but they would be stale by the time I got here.
Yeah.
So this bottle of mustard is the bottle that's like the size of this cup.
Yeah.
It is
like 2 ounces,
$3.79.
Well, you
Oh.
want
That's like
you
a
want the good
dollar
stuff.
in America.
Yeah.
Not anymore. When's the last time you went shopping?
Not super
It's a
frequently.
Dollar
I
Tree price.
escaped retail for that. Followed by Cheese Whiz
Cheese
Wow.
for
Whiz.
almost $6
$6
a can
yeah.
Wow.
for a small can
Yeah.
of Cheese Whiz.
What's right above that? Is that
Well-
spaghetti in a bag?
No, but we
Oh.
will absolutely get there. That is saving the best for last. We then have pretzel sticks, like bags of pretzel sticks. These things that they call Chip-Aways. There's original and a ranch version. And I don't know about you all. I have never seen this or any product, anything like it before in my life.
It kind of looks like generic Doritos.
Yeah.
They looked almost like a Taki, but without the flavor powder on it.
Okay.
It's kind of got like that tube look to it.
Okay.
Oh.
And so my travel buddy picked it up, looked at our German host, and was like, I just want you to know, no American has any idea what this is. We've never seen this
No.
before. You then have Swiss Miss hot chocolate.
Okay.
That's fine.
That's a
$6.29.
staple. That's a staple in the U.S.
This store is a 45-minute drive from Switzerland.
Oh, my
You
God.
can get actual Swiss hot chocolate.
Yeah, but people in Europe, they're like, we haven't seen our family in years. And you're like, how far away are they? And they're
That's
like,
true.
an hour. You know what I mean?
So
Ain't nobody going up there for hot chocolate. They're like, we have to drive a whole hour. No, I'll just get the
Gas
Swiss
or
Miss.
electric vehicles there?
Diesel.
gas,
Oh, it's-
diesel. There was
okay.
some electric, but there's not a lot of vehicles in general. Like traffic
Okay.
was not that bad, especially by American standards.
Yeah.
Because most people just live and work in the same town. If you get a
Right.
new
That's why they
job
don't
and
see their
you
families
move,
then.
Right.
Okay.
you just move to that town.
Everything is in the town that
Yeah,
you need.
and-
yeah.
Wow.
Like from where we stayed, it was a 3-minute walk to the main marketplace area where you could just get anything you want. People have bikes everywhere. Like
Yeah.
biking is the primary mode of transit.
Yeah.
Biking or
Oh.
walking. Most people don't drive or even own cars.
Okay.
So like where I was staying at was a shared apartment. There were 4 people living there. The only reason we had a car was we rented one when we got there. None of
Yeah.
those 4 people owned cars. They just bike to work. That's what they do. Or if they need to go to a different city, they take a bus.
Yeah.
Like public transit is a thing.
Is a thing.
When people were showing
yeah.
up for a birthday party while we were there, they showed up via train. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
you don't drive.
No.
It's not a thing.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
then this takes me to my favorite part. Top left of this section, the first thing that would have been listed on a planogram. Cass, now that you can,
Macaroni and cheese dinner.
for how much?
$3.49.
On
Normally
sale.
$3.99.
Yes.
Well, you know the family pack, family box, craft,
Mhm.
deluxe, right?
Yeah.
So it's the noodles with the cheese sauce.
Mhm.
They want $6 for that. now.
Jeez.
Sometimes 7 or 8.
Jeez.
But this is this is still powdered cheese.
Yeah.
I will admit this is Europe. They have stricter controls on what is and isn't allowed
Yeah.
in food.
But those right now are on sale for $1.25.
Yeah,
I
not
think.
$4 a
Yeah,
box.
no.
The taste of America. I think that's
Yeah.
actually literally what it says on this
Stop
box.
it. It does taste like
Yeah,
the U.S.
it literally says
Dusty
in the bottom,
cheese.
"Taste America."
Dusty cheese. That's what we taste like.
Taste America. Yeah, it was hysterical. I could not. When we got to this section, I was laughing for like 5 minutes straight.
It's so funny because do you think people that live there shop that section and go, oh, yeah, let's see what it tastes like in the U.S.?
I'm afraid that they do.
Or do they put that section there so people that are visiting can find some things that maybe
Are
bring them
familiar,
comfort
yeah.
from home?
It's possible. Because like when I was there, I was very adamant that if I'm in Germany, I want to eat German food.
Exactly.
I don't
Of
want to
course.
eat
I'm the
anything
same
I can
way.
get at home.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I ate a lot of schnitzel. I ate a
Yeah.
lot of spätzle. I ate a lot of pretzels, and I drank quite a bit of beer.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I normally don't drink beer. I don't like beer. I found out I don't like American beer. German beer is
Exactly.
much better.
Yes.
Is it served warm?
No, so actually they won't put ice in drinks, but the drinks will be kept cold.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
At least in southern Germany where I
okay.
was.
Okay.
But they will never put an ice cube in your drink no matter what. But that drink's coming out of like a keg that's in a fridge, right? So it's cold when
Right.
you get it. But it's also one of the things that, and it's easy to forget of. In America, we had the 1920s, right? We had Prohibition.
Yeah.
When that happened, a lot of strains of American beer died because they couldn't brew anymore.
Right.
So their starter yeast died, and American beer had to start over again.
Okay.
Germany didn't have that problem, right?
Right.
They have strains of their yeast that have been going on for millennia.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Right.
hundreds and hundreds.
And
of
so German
hours.
beer, just better. But also they have a thing called Radler there, which is delicious. So they'll take a beer and say you get like a 12-ounce beer, which you never would. You'd get a half-liter beer. The standard size of beer, by the way, is half of a liter.
Liter of cola.
And you can get a
It's
full
for a
liter,
cop.
like a Stein. Like what's
Yeah.
considered a normal beer even is a 1 liter Stein of beer.
Did you drink out of a boot?
I did not drink out of a boot while I was there. I had at least normal glasses. But if you're getting like a liter of beer, half of it's beer and then the other half liter is lemonade.
Oh.
And it's half beer, half lemonade, almost like an Arnold Palmer would be, but with
Okay.
beer instead of iced tea. And it sweetens it up and it kind of cuts some of the bitterness of the beer, and it's delicious.
Yeah, that does sound
It's
good.
so good.
That's like a Leinenkugels, right?
Yeah, almost
Yeah.
like a summer shandy, I
shandy,
think is
yeah.
what it is. It's kind of the same
Yeah.
basic principle. But like, and I was like, oh, do you have Radler? And then I found out it's not a brand name. It's just like how saying Arnold Palmer. It doesn't matter what brand it is.
Right.
So if you ordered a Radler, they'll just like fill half your glass with beer off the draft and then just top it off with lemonade. So anywhere
you
you
never
go,
know
you can order
which
it.
kind of beer
Yeah.
you're getting.
And it's also dependent on the bartender as just how much of it's beer and how much of it's
Yeah.
lemonade. I had one Radler. It was straight beer.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think she put any lemonade in this. But it was absolutely great. I loved it. But so I always wanted to have that German food. The exception was in the airport on the way back, after I'd finally gotten through all the security, there was the McDonald's in the airport. And I'm like, I got to. They had McRibs, by the way. It's not a seasonal thing. They just
What?
have McRibs.
They just trick us into thinking it's a seasonal thing.
And in Germany, you can get McRibs with bacon.
What?
Yeah. So of
I don't
course,
even like McRib.
I ordered a McRib with bacon. And then I got what they call a snack pack box,
Oh.
which is 9 chicken nuggets. And then in the other half of the box is they take like nacho cheese with jalapenos in it, right?
Okay.
And they must have frozen it so it's solid, and then they bread it and deep fry it. So then when you bite it, you just have this liquid
Get
nacho cheese inside, and it
out.
was phenomenal. And
They
I'm
talk
like,
about us being fat asses.
I know, and I'm
hell?
like, this shit's better.
Yeah.
absolutely.
This is the most violently American McDonald's order I've ever had, and I'm not in America.
It's like you were in Wisconsin.
I
For
know,
sure.
right?
Sounds so
and I was
much
like, this
fun.
is delicious, and why do we not have the stateside?
Wow.
Petition to bring German McDonald's to the
We're
U.S.
so
100%.
boring here, aren't
And like
we?
honestly, the
Gosh.
chicken's better too.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like it's so much.
but what's
better.
up with the 9 nuggets?
Because it's the snack pack box.
I don't care. It should have 10 or 6.
I think they had a small version that was 6, but the large was the 9.
I had commented on a TikTok video, if you don't go buy him a 10-piece chicken nugget right now, and it's the guy who races his dog for the chicken nuggets, right? And he beat his dog. He grabbed his dog's chicken nugget and ate it. And do you know that comment has 13,000 likes and like 200 comments about like, well, we only have 9 pieces here in wherever.
Oh, because
not
you
the
said go buy
US.
him a 10-piece
Go
chicken
buy
nugget.
him a 10-piece, yeah.
But everyone's like, what do you mean 10
Yeah,
piece?
and then everyone's like, you either get 9 or 20. And I was like, well, then get him the damn 20-piece, a poor dog.
what do we have here? 10 or 20?
10,
6,
20,
10,
40.
20, and 40. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I don't think they do 3s. I think they do 4s though. I think you can do 4,
Like
6,
for a Happy
4,
Meal or something?
10,
4?
Yeah,
20,
I feel like
40.
it used to be only 3 in a Happy Meal, and now it's 4,
Oh, no,
maybe.
I don't eat Happy Meals.
Me
I have
neither.
not. I need like 7 Happy Meals.
Yeah.
Like no
For a
thanks.
Yeah, I'm not eating
Yeah.
a Happy Meal.
What
Toys
was,
aren't that
what was
good.
your most favorite thing? to do there? Activity or place or whatever. Oh, yeah, I know you said the churches, but
The churches were beautiful, but I think my favorite thing was actually the day we went to Switzerland.
Oh, okay.
So we got to go
Oh,
to
you
the
actually touched the ground?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So day 2, I could see Switzerland from across a lake. Day 4, I was swimming in Switzerland and hadn't touched the ground. Finally, on day 6 or 7, we went to Switzerland. Which is ironically not where the Swiss chocolate came from.
Okay.
That's funny.
He brought us some
Because
chocolate, too.
Switzerland has a higher tax on food, so we actually crossed the border back to Germany just to buy the Swiss chocolate.
Yes.
So
did you have hot chocolate while you were there?
I did not.
No?
It was too hot for hot chocolate.
I was just going to ask you
Yeah,
too
what
how
was
the
the-
weather was.
Yep.
Yeah.
The weather was nice, but the restaurant we were at, so we went to, it was like a burger chain that they had, and they were like, oh, your meal. Like here, you order a meal with your burger, it comes with fries and a drink. That's true here as well, but it also comes with a hot drink. So you could either get like a coffee, an espresso, a hot chocolate. And I'm like, I appreciate that, but it's like 90 degrees and we're sitting in the sun right now.
That comes with your meal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just part of the meal there.
It's probably like a dessert afterwards,
If
right?
we actually got to sit in the shade, absolutely I'd be going for a hot chocolate, but I have been sweating profusely this entire meal because there's no more seats in the shade. And then we refused to sit inside because we'd had such gorgeous weather. I did not eat at a restaurant inside the entire trip.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
We had one that we got to the restaurant and then it started storming. We still ate outside. It was so beautiful.
Have to.
And we got very good with weather. So somebody was just asked me today, like, oh, what was the weather like when you were there? I'm like, I don't know. It was in Celsius.
I always have to,
I think it would be about like 75 to 80 degrees was what it was most days.
I think 23 degrees is about 70 degrees.
Yeah, because
23
21 and a
Celsius.
half is considered room temperature there.
Yeah.
But to me, I like 19 Celsius.
Right,
Like,
right,
I like
right.
it cold.
When I was in Costa Rica, I didn't know, like the air conditioner.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I guess I'll put it on 23. Well, it was so hot and humid that felt great. I didn't know that it was actually like 75 degrees because it was fucking 90 degrees.
Yeah.
90%
Sure. Anything
humidity.
was going to feel better than
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Rhine Falls in Switzerland. So if you think of Niagara Falls in in Americas, right, the biggest waterfall in North America, right? The Rhine Fall is the biggest waterfall in Europe. It is like 460 meters wide, something like that. Huge waterfall.
Yeah.
And southern Germany has been in a flood state for a couple weeks before we got there. So again, sorry, this is metric. A normal day in the summer, there's 600 cubic meters of water going over the falls per second, which I texted my mom too. I converted it to American units for her. But it's quite a bit of water, right?
Yeah.
But the important thing to know, 600 units of water per second. Because of the flood state when we were there, it was 960 cubic meters per second going over the falls. Yeah. So in the middle of the waterfall, there's this rock formation that there's a platform at the bottom and you can climb upstairs. So you can be standing literally in the middle of the falls. They would not do that day because the platform was underwater.
Oh, God.
It had flooded.
Oh, that's water.
I have a postcard that I got only because there's like a section of rocks showing in the waterfall in the postcard that does not appear in any of my pictures because those rocks were all underwater
Covered.
when I was there.
Wow.
But it was absolutely beautiful. We got to go on a little boat ride, and it was just absolutely beautiful.
Wow.
Fun.
So beautiful.
So how did you meet your host?
So the friend that I was traveling with was part of the German foreign exchange program when she was in high school, and so was he, and they've just kept in touch for the last 10 years.
Nice.
Wow, good
She was
people
supposed to
know.
go in 2020, but then 2020 happened.
Yeah.
So it got postponed until this year, and I just kind of got to tag along.
Amazing.
And it
That's
was
so
amazing.
cool.
Absolutely amazing.
If someone's going there, do you think having some sort of host or someone that lives there
Yes.
would work-
or
would
at
be better?
least have Google Lens or something like that.
Okay.
Because we were in one museum and they actually had Wi-Fi, which is great. Because I was being cheap. I didn't want to turn on the data on my phone.
Right,
Right.
yeah.
Because my phone has international, but they charge you extra every day you
Yeah.
use it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to cheap out on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because where I was staying had Wi-Fi, so I just couldn't use my phone while I was out.
Oh, sure.
But this museum had Wi-Fi, so I actually could use Google Lens. So I would go up to the display item in the museum, and they have like the little plaque that has the description of
hold it
the
over.
piece. You could just hold your phone up, and it would just translate it to English for you right then
so
and there.
cool.
It was beautiful. It was great right up until the school showed up. And then you had like 80 like 9-year-olds show up in the museum and just wreak havoc. But
Aw.
outside of that, it was great.
Yeah.
I would just be like, I'm coming with you guys on your tour because I want to learn all about it.
Oh, yeah.
too.
Yeah,
Your
but they were all
favorite
speaking in German.
Yeah. You could learn
I
a few
didn't
things.
understand. But that was the
Do you have the- do you have
Zeppelin
the-
Museum in Friedrichshafen.
Do you have the voice translator on your
I
phone?
probably do,
Yeah.
but I just didn't use it. I was just reading all the text.
Because that you could just like, and it'll just like,
yeah.
you just hold up your phone and put your earbud in, and then it'll just translate in real time.
Yeah.
What's your favorite word that you learned out there?
He just said it.
Well, Friedrichshafen's the name of the city. I think Kaiserschnecke is one of my favorite.
Yeah.
That's the cheese snail. That was that little
Oh,
pastry I was talking about. But Schweinenschnitzel is just really fun to say too, which is a pork schnitzel. It's just Schweinenschnitzel, you know?
Why
if you
is
say
it so
it-
angry all the time?
Because it's German, right?
I don't
The
know,
easiest way to
but
sound
yeah.
angry is just speak in German, you know?
Why do they sound angry?
They
just
just
the accent.
do. Yeah.
Oh.
Or it was like Schweinenschnitzel.
Schwein.
Fine.
I
How
think
do you
it's
say
because
the wine again?
Gewürztraminer.
Gewürztraminer. Gewürztraminer. Now that I know W is V.
Yeah, so W is V.
Gewürztraminer.
B's are P's. I can't remember. There's another one that's kind of weird too.
Gewürztraminer.
And like a lot of the S's or a lot of the T's are like shtas. They're not stu. They're not tuh. It's like stu or shta.
Okay.
So like Gewürztraminer, or what should actually be more like Gewürztraminer. You kind of put that. You add some extra syllables in there.
Because
It's like
what
the opposite
is-
of French, where you just don't pronounce letters. In German,
Oh.
you pronounce words that aren't there. That would be Oberweiler.
Oberweiler.
Oberweiler, I think, is the name of it.
Oberweiler.
So if it's a T, though, it'd be S-T.
Oberschweiler.
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 Because like usually it is.
Oberschweiler.
Sometimes it's not. It's weird.
I have to clean these microphones when we're done today.
The fun one is we were originally going to go there. It's called the Disney Castle, is what a lot of people refer to it as. But it's Schloss Neuschwanstein. And I had to practice.
She always lost her
It's
line.
like it's Neuschwanstein.
She almost
But
lost her
Schloss
Neuschwanstein.
Neuschwanstein is the name of this castle.
Is it Beauty and the Beast castle?
It's the one that Disney uses a lot. Like if you see like a
Oh.
panorama of a castle,
Yeah.
90% of the time in a Disney movie, it's this
I
castle.
would go just to see that.
Yeah.
I love
and
Beauty and the
it's
Beast.
really, unfortunately, just the way that the timing worked for the trip, we didn't end up going. Just like we were going to go to Liechtenstein just to go to Liechtenstein.
Of course.
You can just hike to the middle of it. It takes like 45 minutes. But I just, like, I'd never been international. I'm like, I want all the stamps on my passport.
Oh, yeah.
I have one stamp because EU open borders. I did not need my passport going to Austria. You just drive through.
You just
I didn't
go
know we were
through.
in Austria till the guy was like, oh, yeah, welcome to Austria. I'm like, when? Like, you basically go
Someone
through.
stamp my passport, please.
You basically go through like a glorified open road toll.
Yeah.
You just drive through. If you're in a truck or hauling a trailer, you have to stop for a customs check, but passenger vehicles just keep driving. And I'm like, ooh, we're going to Switzerland. This is great. I'll bring my passport. I'll get a stamp for Switzerland because they're not part of the EU. No.
Yeah.
You go through a toll booth, and if there's no one in the booth, you just keep driving.
What the hell?
I'm like, seriously? Like,
USA is dumb.
We're dumb.
We're so dumb.
and it's so interesting, but like their coins are beautiful. And I love foreign currency. I think
Yeah,
it tells
me
you a lot
too.
about what's important to
Yeah.
that country. And so with the euro, right, you have all of these coins, right? Because the euro, it's like 26 countries that are part of the EU, but each of them have their own coins, but they're all interchangeable with each other. So I have a full set of German ones, and I got about half a set of French ones. But I have just like a Liechtenstein coin. I've got an Italy coin. And they're really cool because they all have these different symbols on the back, and they're just so cool to look at.
Yeah,
awesome.
cool.
How much money did you bring home?
I probably have about $15
Oh,
or
that's
15
good.
euros that I brought back. Literally, we went out the last day and I just treated everybody to lunch just to burn up the rest of the euros.
Yeah.
that I had.
Sure,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm like, I don't want to currency exchange them back to
No.
US dollars.
Yeah.
That's annoying. But I did very specifically keep the coins because they have a 1 cent, a 2 cent, a 5 cent coin. And then they have,
But what do they call them?
well, they're euro cents.
Oh, euro cents. Okay.
Yeah.
So they still call them cents.
Yeah, because it's still
Okay.
1/100th of a euro,
Okay.
so cents still
Okay.
make sense.
Okay.
And then they have, I think, a 10, a 20, and a 50 euro cent. And then it's a €1 coin and a €2 coin. The smallest paper bill they have is a 5.
Oh.
So like when you're at a restaurant, right, and they'll come out with the bill, right, and they have a coin purse that they'll literally have with them, and they just make change right then and
Yeah.
there. So I actually don't like it when you pay card because then they have to take your card and go back inside.
Yeah.
So like I said, we ate outside most of the time. But they all have these little pouches that's all sorted, and they just take
Yeah.
your money and can give you your change right then and there. It's
That's
beautiful.
so cool. You
Some,
mean they actually know how to count change back?
Yes.
Amazing.
one of the cool things is like I went to an ice cream shop in Munich, and I ordered, and so it was I think $2.90 or $3.90, I think, for the ice cream, and then they had a 10-cent deposit on the spoon. So it was we'll call it €4. So I put the 5 in, and then it just spits out a €1 coin. The person handling my food at no point in time handled the money. They had almost like at a U-scan where you have the automatic where it takes the currency and makes the change. Yeah. She rings it up on a sanitized tablet in the back, and then it activates the thing. You put your money in, and it dispenses your change.
Oh, wow.
She's never handling money while handling food. Yeah. The bakery I went to was the same thing. They pressed a button on a tablet and activated this machine. You put your money in, it gave you your change. At no point are the people handling your food handling your money.
Where are you going next?
Next, I'm going to Philippines.
Philippines. I feel like in a lot of Asian countries like that, they don't even do money anymore. It's all
depends on where you go.
Pay or,
I believe where I'm going in the Philippines is more of a rural area where they're more likely to be using cash only.
Yeah.
But I do have several native speakers that'll be with me. My exact orders for the trip are I'm not allowed to get married while in the Philippines.
Oh my God.
That was the first rule spoken. The second thing is I am not allowed to talk to anybody. One of the native speakers with our group gets to talk to them, and I only give someone money if they tell me it's okay.
Yeah.
That's the rules.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. So there's a lot of scam artists, especially around the tourist destinations, where they're like, oh, you have to pay me to get this paperwork for this special visa. You don't.
Yeah.
It reminds me of there was a person in Italy that he would go around and he would charge people, and it was would be $5 at most. So people were like, whatever, and just paid it. It was insurance in case the Eiffel Tower fell on your car.
Oh my
That's what he was
gosh.
selling. But people didn't speak Italian. There's just the dude yelling at them in Italian, and it was like €5, and they're like, fine, whatever, here's €5.
Yeah.
But that's how he made his living, was selling insurance for the Tower of Pisa falling on their cars.
We just paid for the parking. I don't know.
And so many people, they don't know what it is, so they just pay it unnecessarily.
That was when we landed in Costa Rica at the main airport, got in our little plane, and went to this one landing strip, right? And it had a gate there, and the guy's like $2, and I was like, okay, I don't know what this is for.
And it's one of the,
and it was for nothing, right?
I don't know.
And it's one of those things that to an American $2 is so not worth anything, right?
Because you know what? When we left, I was had my $2 ready. Was never asked for it.
It's one of those things, it's such a small amount that no one's going to think twice. But I don't know what this is for, but I really don't care.
All
it's not
I know
enough
is
to
you're
worry about.
letting me pass through the gate.
Did everyone have to pay?
Everybody paid $2.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Did he look professional?
He was the security guard at the gate.
You want to come back in? $2.
I'm pretty sure we just all gave him $2 to get through there.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, it was.
Who are you going with to the Philippines? Is it
same person?
Okay. Okay.
So she's actually the bridesmaid in this wedding, and I'm officially I was her +1, and now I think I ended up being part of the groomsmen. I went because I was told that we're going to the Philippines and it's the Pacific Ocean, and I want to go diving in the Pacific Ocean.
Perfect.
My friend just happens to be getting married while I'm there. It works.
Perfect.
I'm not looking forward to the heat of the Philippines in August, though.
Yeah.
Do you feel that you'll be the tallest person there?
I will not, because the groom is taller than me.
Okay.
By about an inch.
And you're how tall?
I'm 6'4". He's probably 6'5" or 6'6".
I feel like they're petite out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I've been explicitly told you've got me, the groom, and then the best man's a little bit shorter than us. He's probably 6 foot. He's the short one. He's 6 foot. And then everyone else is going to be 4.5 feet tall.
Yeah. So do you have to watch doorways and stuff?
I'm sure I do. I mean, I had that problem in Europe too, right?
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Castles built in the year 800 are not built for someone my size.
No, people were petite back then.
The other phrase I had to learn immediately was Garanga Kopfreiheit. It's basically saying warning, low headspace.
I was going to say something
So
with height.
Kopfreiheit literally means head-free space.
Head-free space.
And so it's warning me there's not a lot of it. It's the German for duck is essentially what it was. So I learned very quickly what that phrase meant, and I just assumed to just bend over the whole
What's
trip.
the German word for duck? Like duck.
I don't know.
Like quack, quack.
What he just said? Yeah.
Quack,
I don't know.
quack.
What would be a shorter? Yeah, I'd be curious.
I don't know. And I was actually at a sanctuary that had a bunch of ducks too.
Yeah,
because it's an ape sanctuary, but they had a bunch of storks and a bunch of ducks, and it was super cool.
Wow.
I joked with my dad. I was doing the genealogy research. He's like, "No, I didn't see about that." I'm like, "Yeah, you didn't see the pictures of the monkeys? I found her family." He's like, "You smart ass." It was great.
So what else is going on with you?
Not much. I'm just kind of right in between, right?
Yep.
Yeah, bracing for impact for when school starts again.
Yep.
Couldn't
How many
have
more
too
years
much.
until you're a doctor?
Too many.
Too many?
I think 6 years until I get my PhD.
Wow.
If I don't slack off too much
You're
on
not
it.
going to slack.
So duck is like seek dukin.
Let me see that.
Is that one right there?
That's just ducking.
Duck it.
Dukin. You got to give it a...
The oo, you need the 2 dots over the U for.
Oh, wait.
So that's just ducking. If it was D and then had
Int?
the umlauts.
Int? E-N-T-E?
Enta.
Int? Enta?
Huh.
Come enter here, you know?
Well, and then it's like, what does schnuckle...
What does the fox say?
Schnucky pootsie mean? And it's sweetie pie.
I was going to say, it means come cuddle.
Schnucky pootsie.
Well, that's actually the fun thing about German. When I was starting, I'm on the Duolingo plan for German, right? And so I was trying to practice as much as I could before I got there. And there's just some words that it's like, if you know what the individual words in it mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because like the German word for pillow is essentially head kiss.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that makes sense.
Makes sense, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like head kisser, head kissing, essentially.
Yeah.
I'm like, that makes sense. Bedroom is literally just bed and room
Yeah.
combined into Badezimmer.
Yeah.
Sorry, Badezimmer is the bathroom. Schlafzimmer, which is literally sleep room.
Oh, okay.
Schlafzimmer. Badezimmer is the, I think, Badin.
Like
Zimmer.
undo your zipper.
Yeah.
Oh.
Zimmer, Zimmer, Zimmer means room.
Yeah.
So Badenzimmer is like a bathroom.
Yeah.
But normally they just call it like ein Bad. They wouldn't
Mm.
actually call it Badenzimmer. That's just way too formal of German.
Yeah.
So how did
Just
the
like we
retail
say-
stores look out there? Oh, go ahead. Just like
No,
we say.
yeah, just like we say toilet or whatever.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
And toiletta is still how you would
Yeah.
call it, right?
Oh,
you've
it's so
gotta-
fancy.
Toiletta.
Yes. I'm going to go take a poop
And
in
a
the
toiletta.
toiletta.
How you say poop?
I don't know.
Schnitzel.
Well-
You didn't learn any swear words?
I mean, you've got Scheiße, which means shit.
Okay. Oh, Scheiße, I've heard that
yeah.
before. Yeah.
Scheiße.
If you wanted to be slightly more appropriate about it, you could say schade instead, which means too bad. Like, schade.
Okay.
I say that one at work because
Scheiße.
my coworkers know what Scheiße is, so I use schade
sure,
instead.
Sure.
Scheiße
If I get
toilet.
really annoyed, I'll switch to
Eh.
like Klingon or something to swear in, you know?
Yeah.
Klingon.
You can actually learn Klingon on Duolingo, fun fact.
I know. I watched Star Trek growing up.
But yeah, so that's a lot of fun. But one of the things that also shocked me, because like first time we went out to a restaurant, right? And I was trying to do the total, right? And I was talking to him, I'm like, yeah, because you don't tip here, right? And he's like, sometimes.
Oh.
And you're like,
So-
well, shit.
If I had to make a decision, that would be hard.
Yeah, and so he's like, sometimes you tip, sometimes you don't. Like it's not a super big deal if you don't. But he's like, but 10% isn't super abnormal here either, right?
Oh.
But what ticked me off at the one restaurant was I was gonna tip, right? I was gonna tip. I was paying by card. So I give the server the Kellner, der Kellner, if you want to learn some more German, means the waiter. So I gave the waiter my card, and he swipes it, gives me the receipt to sign. And I'm looking at it going,
Where do I tip?
where's the tip line? The guy's like, what do you mean, where's the tip line? He ran your card already. You sign it. And I'm like, but no, he runs the card, and then you put the tip, and then they run the card again. It's like, no, why would they do it that way? That seems so unnecessary. It's like you tell him what the tip is before he runs the card. But he didn't ask for a tip. I don't know if it's because he knew I would not understand it anyway.
Yeah.
But so I didn't know, and so I didn't tip the guy, and I felt bad. And then the other guy, the German, tipped him because he knew what was going on.
Sure.
And he's like, "What do you mean? Like you don't tip beforehand?" They're like, "How much do they know? How do they know how much to put on?" Like they
add it
don't.
in
They
later.
add it in later.
Yeah.
It's like, so what stops them from adding in like $100? I'm like, you catching it on your bank account?
Honestly,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Some
And
people
he
are
was
honest.
just so confused by this, and he's like, "That makes no sense." I'm like, "You're right. It doesn't, but
Does
that's what
anything?
we do."
Did we not learn anything in this episode? Nothing in the U.S. makes sense.
Yeah.
They're traffic signs though, because it's the Autobahn, right? So some sections of it have a speed limit, some sections have no speed limit, but none of the signs are even in German because it's standardized across the EU. So rather than having any one language, it's just no words. So it's just a whole bunch of pictures.
Yeah.
And there was one sign that I still don't fully understand what it means. It's 2 cars side by side. One car is red, one car is black. I'm like, what does this mean? And it's something to do about a passing zone, like, because like sometimes there's a truck, like the black truck is like trucks aren't allowed to overtake cars, and so there's somewhere it's like that it's something that, and like there's one where like the arrows, there's a red arrow and a black arrow, and it's trying to indicate which car has priority on a road that got too narrow that only one car can fit at a time.
God.
I'm like, what do these signs
Don't
mean?
they know about the zipper method? That's one thing we have.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah,
uses
nobody uses
it.
that.
But no, like where you have one lane in each direction,
Yeah.
but then now the road's too narrow. It's only a one-way road.
What the hell?
And so they're basically what the red arrow, black arrow is telling you is whatever car is already in the intersection gets to leave first.
Okay.
Which makes sense. I'm like, you need a sign to tell you that? What are you going to do? Block the other half of the road?
I'm like imagining cars doing 80 miles an hour and all of a sudden it's one lane. Like, how do you...
No. So this is
does
like...
anyone come up to it?
No, actually. And...
No,
like I
because
said,
nobody drives cars.
Well, no, I mean, there's still
is true.
plenty of cars on the actual interstate system, right?
Yeah.
The Autobahn. But speeding really wasn't a big thing. The entire time I was there, I never once saw a cop having someone pulled over on the side of the road.
No.
Not, in 8 days.
Yeah.
Not once did I see that. I saw 2 times where there was some sort of an officer involved. One of them was a car that had drove through customs with a car on a trailer behind it that was supposed to stop and no.
Sure.
So there's a customs car that caught them, got in front of them, and has in flashing lights on the back of the car saying, "Follow me," that then pulled off onto the next exit, and then they ran through the customs check there.
Yeah.
The only other time I saw an officer pulling over on the side of the road was the guy had a flat tire. So the cop stopped to help him change the tire.
How nice.
They have speed trap cameras left,
I bet
right, and
nobody
center.
got shot.
But that was it. Yeah, no, it's much more peaceful there.
Yeah.
Jeez, what are we
Do the
doing
cops
here?
even carry guns out there? Probably not.
Yes. So when we were there, it was right before an election, and there were some things going on, and so they had a bit of a security presence in the market. But like you would just chat with them. They're just people casually chatting with them because they're not there to go after you. They're there to keep everyone safe.
You mean protect and serve?
Yeah. And I mean, and they were wearing bright yellow vests, so you knew exactly where they were. They weren't trying to hide. They weren't. I mean, they were there to be visible. And even then, I was like, it was a Sunday. It was a busy day. Like the entire town was at this marketplace. It was packed.
Are you sure it was the entire town?
It probably was.
Oh, okay.
These towns aren't very big.
Did you check?
No. But there were 4 officers.
Start knocking door to door.
There was probably 10,000 people there and
wow.
4 officers.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And that was an increased police presence.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I'm like, are you kidding me?
Did they have air
Peaceful.
conditioning in their house where you were staying?
No.
No.
They have the amazing engineering that is German windows, and I love them, and I want them so badly.
Is that the ones that open like inward, but then also like
Yes.
swing out?
Yeah, so you can hit one lever, and it's going to like tip inwards.
Yeah.
Or you can hit another lever, and it just opens outwards.
Yeah.
The one thing I do wish that they had were screens. They don't have screens in their windows, so they'll open their windows, but then just bugs are flying in and out the whole time. This is weird. Like, I'm all about your style of windows, but put a frickin' screen in there.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Interesting.
This is weird.
I was obsessed with the window. I was like, I was looking out, and they're like, here, why don't you open the window? And they turned it the other. I'm like, what is this magic? It was great. So much fun. So much fun.
Oh, that's great. I want to go there.
It is great. I love it.
I'm just jealous now.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm just sitting this whole
Whatever,
hour. I'm
you're
just
getting
like,
ready
I'm
to go to Italy.
I know.
I know I did see that someone's going to
Yeah,
Italy.
Yeah.
Someone tell Katie. We'll be in Florence.
Ooh.
Are you doing a cruise?
Yeah,
Yeah, you're doing a cruise.
we are.
I don't think I can handle
We'll be gone
a
for
cruise.
21 days. See
Oh
you
my
later.
God.
Don't
What are
miss
we?
us
How
too
are we going to get our
much.
Clopen for that?
I
Yeah.
know.
Cass, we're going to break in. We'll
Let me
handle it.
see.
It's
Am I
fine.
going to be worried about it when I'm in Italy? Nope, not going to be worried about it.
Make sure you order the Gewürztraminer.
Yeah.
She'll be posting on Facebook like, no episode this week either. Sorry, losers.
I was talking about Adam. Like, I feel a little guilty about that because I didn't like call him to let him know I was okay. But I'm like, I'm posting pictures every day to Facebook. He knows I at least lived one more day.
Yeah.
Like, I was alive to post pictures. If I keep posting them every day, so
Yeah.
people knew. Even like when we went diving, I wasn't taking pictures that day, but I'm like, at least I had a couple pictures from that day. So I'm like, see, look, I posted something.
Sure.
I'm still
Yeah.
okay.
I'm still
It's fine.
That's a
alive.
nice thing about
Yeah.
social media.
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know.
it is,
Quick
yeah.
check-in.
So like, and the weird thing too is like, it was harder to text people because when I went to bed, which would be like 11 p.m. midnight, here was 2 to 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Like, I was going to bed when my mom was getting off of work, so I couldn't even
Yeah.
call her and be like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, nope, bye, I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild to be in a different time zone.
I think
like
you
that.
sent me a snap and you were eating lunch and it was only 8. I said I was just drinking my coffee, right? When you sent me a snap.
That was the
like a
McDonald's.
Oh, is that what it was?
That was in the airport.
It was like a beautiful, lunch he was having, and I'm just like, and I'm on my second cup of coffee or something like that.
Yeah, because we got to the airport super early because we had to return the car.
But it was still early here, though, too.
Yeah, so I think I was eating lunch. It was like 11:30 in the morning.
But I feel like it was only
because it's a 7-hour difference.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was
from where
7 hours
So it would have
earlier.
been like 4:30 your time, and I'm eating lunch.
Yeah. I was
but
drinking coffee.
That was great.
Well, that's a normal day for me. I'm eating lunch when everybody's eating breakfast.
Oh, yeah. Lunch is at 10,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, when I worked with you guys, I was like,
Yeah.
For me, lunch was always at 10 because that's when the hot bar opened.
Oh.
I would just be casing the joint, be like, "Still not ready yet? All right, let me go throw this product. Is it open yet? Come on, dude, I'm hungry. Just throw it in the fryer already. Give me some food."
You're like, you just give them the empty plate, like just fill her up.
Fill her up.
Just jump straight out of the fryer into this. Let's go. It's great. Sorry. I'm tall.
footsie.
I'm trying to extend my legs
Yeah,
here.
me
I'll
too.
just turn side. That's the plane. Okay. Never enough leg room on those planes.
No, never.
No.
I'm a large human. I don't fit in a small plane.
Did you fly on a big plane with I've only
Triple
ever
rows?
Yeah, I've only ever flown with seats on the outside of the plane. There was
So
no
I did have
middle
triple
aisle.
rows. So
Yeah.
the plane out was what was it? I think it was 3-2-3 setup.
Yeah.
So you had 3 on each side and then 2 in the middle. So you had your 2 aisles. The plane back was a 2-4-2 setup.
Oh wow.
And I was in the middle of the 4, right? So me and the person I was traveling with were the middle 2 seats of that set of 4.
Oh god.
Because the tickets were ordered through United, but we were on a Lufthansa flight, but also had a United Airlines flight number on it. So we couldn't pick our seats. And I was like, this sucks.
Yeah. Did they have good entertainment though? You had TVs in the back.
Yeah,
of
so
the
every seat
headrest.
had one,
Yeah.
and they would pass out the headphones because I'm like, oh, I have my earbuds. You can't use Bluetooth on the plane. You can't connect to that TV.
Oh, see, I could on one.
Well,
Me and Johnny when
to
we went
connect to the
Florida.
screen?
Yeah.
Wow. Ours you couldn't. Ours you literally had to plug in a headphone. So the flight attendants would go around.
Well, maybe they're getting there on.
Well, I mean, the one plane I think was relatively new.
Yeah.
But you just still plugged them in.
Yeah.
Though I still miss the days where you could, because I'm a nerd. I loved flying United because you could listen to the ATC feed from the cockpit, and I would just listen to air traffic control the whole flight.
Stop.
Yeah, back in the day, United, the pilot would flip a switch, and it was he had 10 music channels. Channel 10, or I think it was 9 because it went 0 through 9. Channel 9 was the ATC feed that the cockpit was listening to, and you could just listen, and it was so much fun.
Oh, that sounds like so much
I feel like
fun.
they changed that after 9/11.
No, because I the first time I ever flew would have been 2008.
Oh.
Yeah, and I could listen to it then.
Okay.
I had not flown a lot. I flew to and from Washington, D.C. in 8th grade, and then I did a flight to Atlanta.
And then you went to Germany.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was fun.
That's
but
kind of how
like
I
planes.
did though, too.
But
I only flew a couple times before I just left the country.
Yeah.
My friend was convinced that I needed to leave the country before I turned 30. So we landed in Germany 12 hours before I turned 30. She's like, we're cutting it close, but we got it.
Yeah.
And our host, his birthday was on June 8th. So we landed June 1st, had my birthday the 2nd. His
Nice.
birthday was June 8th, and we flew out June 9th.
Oh, happy birthday.
So we kind of had bookended. But that was the other German tradition I learned about too. You do not celebrate someone's birthday before their birthday. That is considered bad luck. You do not wish them a happy
Yes.
birthday. You don't say anything about it. And so his birthday was on a Saturday, but the party was Friday. So all these people came over 7, 8 p.m. on Friday, and it was just friends hanging out. That was
Until
it.
midnight.
They were just chatting, drinking some beer. I started going through the liquor cabinet. We were having a great time. And literally at midnight on the dot, they all started singing happy birthday, and the cake came out. What just happened?
So we've been celebrating his birthday this
I
whole
can see that. I have some friends
Yeah,
that don't believe in baby showers
Right.
because it's bad luck.
Yes,
You know,
before the
let's
baby's
see the
born.
baby born,
Yeah.
healthy baby. Now let's
Yeah.
celebrate the healthy baby. So I can see that.
Especially in southern Germany, but very prevalent throughout most of Germany. It's you do not celebrate a birthday. You can text them the day after. That's fine. They don't worry as much about belated because
Yeah.
you do not ever wish a happy early birthday.
Yeah, I could see that.
Oh.
Yeah. And then we played a really fun game that I sucked at because they had it's a music game where you scan a code on the back of a card and it plays a song on your phone. And then you have to try to guess what year that song came out.
Oh.
which is fun. I now have the American version of it, but the
I was
German,
gonna
we were
say.
playing the version that had a third of the songs in German, and so
Yeah.
I had no
How are
idea.
you? You're like,
and
I've never heard this before.
Yeah. The only German song I knew was 99 Luftballons, and we did not get that card. So you got a bonus point if you could name the title of the song and the name of the artist. But the predominant one was you had to try to guess when that song came out in a timeline.
I'm so bad about that.
We
I'd
lost
be like
3 for 3.
1984 for every
For every
song.
single one. Yeah.
Every
Eventually, you'd be right.
Yeah.
But it was what it was. Also, you have so many stickers on this thing.
I know.
Why did you sit the ADHD kid in front of the thing with all the stickers? I don't know what's wrong with you people.
Yeah. We
see what
knew.
this
We
is.
knew. You know what? We kept the episode on point. Oh.
Yeah. And that's the German version, too. I never realized they
The one you knew?
Yeah.
I like this when it goes.
The weird thing is that sounds like she says 99 there.
Yeah.
But it's 9 und 90. 9 and 90. Because they say 9 and 90.
Dance party.
That's just the intro or outro music to this, right? And here we are at the Clopen Effect.
Well, how about we hop off and have some chocolate?
Yes.
I'm
So
ready for some chocolate.
yes, we've got the German chocolate and the Swiss chocolate,
Woo.
which I've been told that post World War II American veterans were used to the chocolate that was so they artificially aged the chocolate a bit to put into
Ooh.
rations, so that way it would be stable enough to take the transatlantic journey for the war. And then post World War II, all the veterans that was the chocolate they were used to. That's what they had a taste for. So all American chocolate uses artificial aging that changes the taste. So European chocolate doesn't do that, and so it tastes a little different.
Amazing.
So, what do you want to try first, the German one or the Swiss one?
Swiss.
Okay, Swiss chocolate. It is.
I heard somebody say that chocolate in the U.S. tastes rancid,
Probably.
and I popped like a handful of M&Ms the other day, and I was like, oh, fuck.
They're right.
So I apologize in advance if
Is
you
it
don't want to
melty?
eat any other chocolate now,
Oh.
because it's so much better.
So this is just regular chocolate?
My
What
mouth
is-
So
was
this
wandering.
is milk chocolate with hazelnut, caramel split, and alpine salt.
So I see you have Ritter Sport, which
Yes.
we can buy that in the U.S.
Yes, typically you can't find it in most grocery stores that I know of, but a
Right.
lot of like the international stores.
Yes.
I get some every year down in Chicago at the Christkindl Market.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
That candy shop there, I spend so much
but
money
I
in that
wonder,
establishment.
is
This is pretty much the same thing because they
is
just
it
direct
the
import
same
it.
in?
It's just cheaper when in Germany to buy it there
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
trying to get it here.
I thought maybe it was like different.
Thanks, Drew.
Of course. I'm telling you again, the hard part was making sure it made it back to the
Yeah,
States.
right.
But I bought like $50 worth of chocolate while I was there. Oh, I just realized too, they actually have like the Swiss Alps
Yeah.
embedded into the chocolate
Oh.
too. I was wondering what that
I
ridge
have a little
was.
peek. A peek on my chocolate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Very
Chocolate
good.
and wine.
I'm trying not to ASMR though.
How are we going to talk and eat?
Mm-mm.
I know I've been barely
Just
drinking the
listen.
wine.
Just listen to us chew.
I guess it's the end of our episode. Goodbye, everybody. We're going to go eat some chocolate.
We love chocolate in Drew
Very
in
good.
Germany.
So I don't know if there's any specific chocolate I can get in the Philippines though. So this might be a once and done thing. But I'm definitely looking forward to the Filipino cuisine as well. Lots of rice. I'm very excited.
Are you going to come back on and tell us about it?
Sure, why not?
Oh, okay.
I was thinking, you know what?
if you still put up with me by that point,
Oh, yeah.
I bet there's good candy in the Philippines.
I'm sure.
Thank you. I'm going to be so full.
This is an
Okay.
appetizer. What are you talking about?
From her 2 pieces of chocolate.
From my Mamwich and Doritos before this.
Because she's an almond mom.
So I specifically got the hazelnut for both, so you can kind of.
I'm trying
Have
to
a better
finish the
comparison.
Swiss before I go to the next one.
I like the Swiss better.
But like that mouthfeel you get, that,
Yeah.
it's got that creaminess that you don't get out of American chocolate, and that's from that aging process that
It's
we
like
do to it.
the Swiss chocolate, it like stays in your mouth. Right? Like
Yeah.
I can still taste the chocolate
Yeah.
in my mouth. Like your M&Ms or whatever, just then you could just taste the artificial, right? Maybe?
Whereas this, and they have
I don't know.
much more strict standards on it. So like I have someone that they don't eat strawberry flavored things in the United States because they always thought they were allergic to strawberry. They're not. They're allergic to the red food dye that everything that's strawberry flavored has. So when I was here, I was actually double checking. They don't put the artificial food coloring in their food. So like the strawberry one they can actually have because it doesn't have that food dye in it. They're just more strict about what goes in it. So everything has what's known as an E number. See, I don't even know if this has one.
Which one do you like better?
The Swiss.
The Swiss
one, yeah.
Kind of like this one too.
Swiss
Yeah.
chocolate
They're
is
both
kind of
delicious.
known,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
I think maybe the Ritter might have an E number on it. But even like a menu, anywhere you go out to eat. So like how we have like allergen warnings.
Yeah.
Everything has an E number there. Does this one have one? It might be under the scan me section. But it'll say like E and then 10 or E and 100 and everything. It's standardized across the whole EU. That like something, and like they don't even just do like nut allergy, right? They will specify which nut is in that food.
Anybody need water? Are you guys good with your wine?
I got wine. I'm good. I got wine. This is great.
Chocolate and wine is delicious.
See, this is the actual reason you invited me on, right?
Yeah.
Like Drew's bringing chocolate and wine. This
Chocolate
is great.
and wine.
I know my target audience here.
I know. So good.
That's all I need in
Wow.
life.
Yeah.
And a cigarette.
I will admit that's much more prevalent in Germany too.
Uh-huh.
Like there's people were walking around smoking because
They're
there's so
not
much,
made to feel ashamed about it.
because there's so many outdoor restaurants and you can smoke outside an outdoor restaurant there, whereas I don't even think you can in the States, right?
Florida.
You can in Florida? Okay.
I mean, there's a couple places you can smoke in the bar.
You think you still get judged nowadays
Oh,
for
yeah.
smoking? Really?
Oh, yeah.
All the hipsters with their vapes are probably staring her down.
Oh, yeah. And the kids are like, that's so bad for you. I'm like, you just wait about 10 years. When we find out
So
how
is
bad
shit-talking
vapes-
other
almost feel
people.
like
That's
we're-
bad for your health,
we're in
too.
society now where you shouldn't care about what anybody's doing, but
Yeah.
I guess that's just me.
Are you kidding me? Oh, God. Drew's knocking the whole damn studio over.
I'm redecorating while
Oh,
I'm here.
that's so funny. Yeah. People absolutely.
wine-
I mean,
so
I judge Judy, but not about people and their habits.
I admit this white wine is definitely sweet, but after the chocolate, it's not sweet wine anymore.
No.
Not
don't
at
think
all.
so?
No, it's definitely more bitter and dry after. Well, when you're comparing it to milk chocolate,
I feel
and then
like-
you have the wine.
I feel like it pairs pretty good with the chocolate,
Okay.
which I feel like it's probably not supposed to. You're probably supposed to have
Probably have
red
more of a
wine
red, yeah.
with chocolate, but I don't
You
drink
know,
red wine. So.
wine is wine. The whole like the color of your wine should match the color of your meat. Even that isn't really
Yeah.
that solid of a rule.
Yeah.
You can bend them. It's
Like white
personal.
with chicken, red
Yeah,
with...
so white should be
okay.
served with chicken or poultry. Red should be served with beef
Sure.
or pork.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
No, I think white
Chicken
even
or
go.
fish.
Yeah, chicken and
you
fish.
said chicken or poultry.
Chicken, yeah, chicken or other poultry, right?
How do you say
Chicken,
duck? How do you say duck
sure.
again in German?
Duckin.
Duckin, turducken.
Oh, yeah, turducken.
Yeah, say turkey, chicken, duckin. No,
Yeah, hen.
turkey, chicken, duckin. Wow. This wine is hitting me, apparently. Jeez, such a lightweight now.
I told you it's 12.5%. It's pretty
That's
good.
nothing. I drink Long Island's, remember?
So now that you've finally
me.
been there and you saw a different lay of the land, do you have any advice for anyone that's thinking about traveling? And
Absolutely
just-
travel. Do
Yeah,
it. Do
yeah.
it. 100%.
Don't wait.
It's worth it. And I actually have one of my old high school teachers as friends with me on Facebook. And after like the second day of posting, she's like, "Oh, are you traveling?" I was like, "Yes." She's like, "Best education there is."
yeah.
I learned more in a week in Germany than,
Right.
I mean, an entire year could have been reading about it.
Sure.
And I mean, we went to, and like I said, it's super old, so you can learn a lot more about history. Anywhere you go, there's something explaining the history of the building, what it's been through, what it's done.
Did you feel like the people are pretty friendly there?
Typically, yeah.
Yeah.
And in Germany, most people speak English now too.
Okay.
So the way that the school systems work is you grow up, you learn German in the home. By 5th grade, you start learning English.
Yeah.
And by the time you enter high school, say 9th grade, you start learning your 3rd language.
Oh, wow.
So by the time you finish high school, you are fluent in German, fluent in English, and conversationally fluent in usually Italian or French.
We're just uneducated
Yeah.
pigs.
And like I felt bad because I was in the one and they told me the total in German, and I was like, English bitte? And she just immediately told me the total in English. Like it was nothing for her to switch it. When we were at a restaurant, the server came up. She came up and just started asking us in German, and me and my friend just had this giant wide-eyed look. And she's like, "Oh, I forgot you don't speak German." She goes, "How was the food? Did you have a good time?" I was like, "Yeah, it was great, thanks."
Oh, wow.
And she just casually could switch languages. And like, I was talking at a party, and we were talking about the use of AI and to the use of artificial intelligence and machine learning in self-driving cars and how that corresponds to deontological versus utilitarian ethics. And this guy could keep up with the conversation. I'm like, this is not a conversation most Americans are capable of having with me in English.
Oh, that's so
and this
funny.
guy that speaks 4 languages is keeping up with this conversation.
Wow.
And it just utterly blew me away. Like
It's got to get easier after like your 3rd or 4th language, right?
Possibly. But like it was one of those things that, the apartment I was staying in, all 4 people spoke fluent English. So much so that they'd switched to German. I'm like, oh, I forgot they speak another language. Because their English was better than mine.
Stop.
Because they'd be like, is that really how you would say it? Or would this be a more correct way of saying it? I'm like, oh my God.
You're like, well, that's more proper, but
And they were
here's my
right,
Midwest accent.
And because they'd be like, oh, would you say it this way or this one? I'm like, interchangeable.
Yeah. Tomato, right?
Yeah. And so we were trying to tell them some of our fun words of English, So we were
Unless you say salmon.
Ugh.
Don't.
So like we did... We explained to them what a kerfuffle was.
What's a kerfuffle?
It's like a brouhaha.
I'm not going for this.
But no, like a kerfuffle, like a small fit or a tiz. It's like a kerfuffle. Like it's a small argument or small fight. Like a kerfuffle. And I'm trying to remember the other one we told them. But
I've never heard that before.
I'm pretty sure I've heard Drew say
it's an old people phrase. Kerfuffle.
Like a tiffy?
Yeah, almost like a tiffy or a tizzy. Yeah, like a
tizzy.
kerfuffle.
Tizzy. That's what I was saying.
Tizzy.
Tizzy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were teaching about shenanigans and a brouhaha.
Shenanigans. I've heard.
We had to teach them the fun English words, right?
Yeah.
We taught them about bougie.
Bougie.
And then what was the other one?
Well, there's so many now. The kids keep making up. I can't barely.
Oh,
keep
like
up.
that skibbity ridiculousness.
What is the skibbity?
I have no
I
idea.
saw socks that said skibbity something.
It's almost like, I think it's just like an exclamation.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm in my 30s now. I'm officially old. I can't keep up with the young people.
I can't. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
3 decades. I'm aging already. I'm decaying.
I swear to God.
And yet your face looks like a baby. You
I
don't
was
have
like,
one wrinkle.
He looks the same as when we all worked together.
Absolutely.
And he was in the deli.
Yeah.
So I was talking to my coworkers the other day.
Supple skin.
I was talking to my coworkers the other day, and I'm like, the
Baby's
problem
butt.
with psychology, right, is developmental psychology. The studies have proven between 25 and 30, that's when your body has peaked, and that's when it switches from growth to decay.
Oh, God.
So literally 30 is physically and psychologically the peak. It is
Over the
literally
hill.
all downhill
You are
from
now
there.
Going over the
And one of my
hill.
coworkers is like, no offense, but I do not want to be your patient. Because I'm the youngest person on the payroll by over a decade.
Oh,
the next
God.
youngest employee is 13 years older
Oh
than
my
me.
gosh.
So it's fun because I'll complain about being old and they're like, shut up. Most members of the staff are retired. So they're literally in their 60s or older.
Yeah.
And I'm complaining when I'm saying, I'm like, oh, I'm old, I'm 30. And they're
I'm
like, shut
30.
up. I have kids older than you, you know?
I just keep saying I can't wait to retire, and then I go, oh yeah, I'll never be able to. Ha 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 ha.
Preach it.
Social
thanks.
Security.
Of course.
what's that?
This was so much fun. Thanks for the chocolate and wine.
Of course.
I just finished my glass
Thanks
of
for
wine,
showing
so-
up, Cass,
Oh,
and
hold
keeping
on.
us straight to remember everything that he was going to say
Yeah.
earlier.
Well, you know,
There, now I finised my glass.
someone's got to pay attention every once in a while. Generally, not moi.
I'm too broke to be able to pay attention.
That's such a dad joke. Did you learn that in Germany?
You know
No.
what? It's
Oh.
because he's decaying.
No, that's why. That's
Go
why.
to
No.
the dad
So
jokes.
I love dad jokes, but I'm not a father, which makes
Right.
me a faux pas.
Oh, faux pas. Okay.
On that note, okay,
Goodbye.
bye.
We'll talk to you next week. Thanks,
Happy
Drew.
Friday.
Okay, bye.